Good evening. Welcome to this regular scheduled business meeting of the Summersville City Council on this 11th day of December 2023. I'd like to welcome all of our guests tonight and move right into the agenda. The first item on the agenda being the consideration of the council minutes of the meeting we held on November 27th of 2023.
Motion to approve and waive the reading.
Second.
Okay, council, the motion was to waive the reading. Are there any changes or amendments to those minutes as presented? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. Next item is public comment. Amy, no public comment?
She didn't show up?
Moving right along. Consideration of request of the Elizabeth Stevenson Memorial Library Board to transfer the library real estate to the city of Summersville. So what I'd like to explain, council, unbeknownst to many, the library actually went to apply for a grant and was in the final stages of it and had to prove ownership of the library. And of course their qualifying factor to be able to apply for the grant is that they were the city of Summersville. Well, lo and behold, they were applying for the grant for betterments and improvements on the library or the library building structure. And at the 12th hour, it was recognized that that library did not belong to the city of Summersville. It wasn't deeded to the city of Summersville. Uniquely, there's a lot of behind the scenes as to why it ended up where it was. And then at the time when it was, when the library was actually deeded to the Elizabeth Stevenson Memorial, or when it was deeded that way, it had a lot to do with the dynamics of government at the time. And also there was a real serious relationship with the community college. There's still a relationship with the community college, but even at that time the community college was funding the library, at which they do not do anymore and quit several years ago. So right away the board met and we ran into a couple issues. Not only had we always assumed, because it was the City of Summersville Public Library, that it was ours. We actually carried it on our books, and I guess nobody really looked at the deed to see that it wasn't deeded to the city. So immediately we went into action on what we needed to do if we could transfer the real property to the city of Summersville, and we can. The board could and has. So on November 14th, the board of directors at the Summersville Public Library, and by the way, as unique as it is, even though we didn't own it, it was all set up like we did. We appoint the board, so on and so forth. So on November 14th, the board of directors of the Summersville Public Library voted to transfer the deed to the city of Summersville as the City of Summersville Public Library. So now what we have tonight is the agenda item. Their request, what we need to do is accept that property from the board of directors at the library. As right now it is the Elizabeth Stevens Memorial Library. We need to accept that property into the city of Summersville. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. The other thing I got to tell you, council, that was another quagmire on this and why it was an easy decision to go ahead and roll it into the city of Summersville as a deeded property. You know, we kind of discovered that technically the operation, we were probably okay with insurance, but we had it insured through the city of Summersville, and technically we weren't the owner. And quite frankly, it's been that way, I know since I've been mayor, so for a long, long time. So anyway, the other good thing of it is I immediately reached out to our insurance carrier. We put provisions in place that in the event, in the short run, something would happen, we would be covered. We assured we would be, and of course, it's going to make everybody much happier that after tonight, Greg has already got all the paperwork ready to file at the courthouse to change the deed to the city of Summersville. So we had a first and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. And Amy, if you would do me a favor tomorrow and just call out there to the librarian, Robin, and let her know that it passed the city and we're all good now. Okay, next item on the agenda is recorder's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I got just a couple things here to pass out, hand out, and I'll kind of go over it. Slide those down that way. One thing I took a look at, it's been a little while since I reported on some of these. I would like to start doing these on a monthly basis now with you. But I went back and did September, October, November. This is just at a glance, new businesses that had been approved for business licenses in the city of Somersville. And you can see October was a little bit slow, that's typical. You know, last year it was about 8, and it looks like right there we were like 5. So the others are running about normal. November, December are always just a little bit slow, but it gives you an idea of how many business licenses we are looking at and approving on a daily or weekly basis. Any questions on any of those? Okay, that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Okay, next item on the agenda is the mayor's report. Council, I just have a few things tonight. First thing I want to kind of address, and BJ, you kick in here where I might give misinformation. Been working with First Energy, actually, BJ Smith, on a project where we have quite a few burned out lamps downtown. And unfortunately, those lamps are no longer supported with replacement inventory from the manufacturer. How many is there in the, what do we have, BJ? I know the city owns 4, and how many are?
All together, I think I counted 38.
38, yeah.
34, what it was.
Yeah. So the next thing that happens is they can't support the guts to replace so that we can get those lights that are burned out illuminated again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change the head of all the poles downtown. Well, the problem is that right now in First Energy inventory that they use, the company they use, they don't really have one that's like that's exactly like what we have. It's not an easy replacement. So BJ came and shared with me what was available. First of all, one option is just a bulb up there, which quite frankly I didn't care for at all. And the one I did care, the one that's most like what we have is gold, and we didn't like the gold. So the other thing I immediately did is I told BJ what I would like to do is reach out to the committee, some of the people that were on the Downtown Beautification Committee that put those in. And I have done so. As a matter of fact, I met with Donna Mazie, and Donna kind of agrees with me that the one that I like, if we could get it painted black, which we're going to try. BJ has got one inbound, and we're actually going to get it in, look at it, and see if we can take the top piece off, paint it black, because we don't want them gold, to paint it black, and then if we can, it'll be real similar. Most likely you won't notice that there was a change in the top bulb of all the downtown street lamps. So we continue to work on that project, but when you do see that taking place, that's a project that's in partnership with First Energy. Actually, the expense to everything but the 4 we own, the city actually owns the 4 light fixtures that set in the pavilion area. And even BJ and I had a discussion about it. We probably should do ours when the rest are done, because they'll look off, they're downtown right here in the same area. And even when I enlisted Donna, she said she felt the same thing. You wouldn't want to do all the other ones and then these down here be different. So when we do finally land on exactly what the replacement top of the lamp will be, we're going to do them all. First Energy's on the hook for all of them but 4. So just want to let everybody know, so when you see that's beginning to happen, the fixtures changing out, it's not really being done because we want to, it's being done because we have to. And always I want to give thanks and appreciation to First Energy. They're on top of it and working with us as they always have with an excellent. We've always had a great working relationship and partnership, so we certainly appreciate their efforts and everything that they've been doing to get those lamps that are burned out re-illuminated with the comprehensiveness of this entire project, meaning they all got to be switched out. So with that, BJ, thank you, and please pass it on to your company. We sure appreciate First Energy's partnership. The next thing I just want to announce on December 20th is Holiday Movie Night That is hosted by the Summersville Arena and Conference Center in the city of Summersville. We invite all kids to come out to this. This year, the theme is The Grinch Stole Christmas. Santa and Mrs. Claus make an appearance. I actually read The Grinch, and then the kids actually get to watch the movie. All other kinds of activities, invite them all to come out. That'll be like the last supercharge before Christmas, so we can sugar the kids up a little bit and send them back home. So that's on the 20th, 6 p.m. Starts at 6 p.m. Then Summersville Area Chamber has really stepped out this year, and we are going to host one heck of a basketball tournament here in the city of Summersville. I'm excited about it. The city's actually a sponsor of it, as well as many other area businesses. This has taken a significant volume of volunteers. I know the chamber is moving right along. I had a meeting today to kind of get updated on some of the resources that we're going to have to cover for the tournament, such as plowing the parking lots and the sidewalks and making sure that we can keep the traffic flowing. Police security met with the chamber today, and they are still in need of volunteers. They're going to be showcasing 44 different teams from this great state through the course of 5 days, and it basically opens in the morning, and the last game I think is in the evening at like 7:30 or something. So basketball, basketball, basketball. Don't miss the opportunity to get out and take in some basketball. And again, I appreciate the chamber. This is going to be it's going to be a first-class tournament. I mean, they have really stepped the game up in making sure that when people come, they'll realize that this was a well-organized and tuned operation. BJ, Stevie, you guys want to add anything else? Both of you are chamber members, and I know that as board members of the chamber, you've been involved in this. Is there anything I left out you want to add?
Dates.
It's the
26th through the 30th.
Day after Christmas, the 26th through the 30th. Tuesday, Saturday. Games are all day. And tickets are available. They're, I mean, $10 all day, right?
Yep.
$10 for all day.
You know, like high school or?
It's
Middle school,
middle
high
school
school,
and high
boys
school,
and girls.
boys and girls. Lindsay, the executive director, did a wonderful job. Jason, president, Ashley, Wall. I mean, everybody's jumping in and putting a lot of time into it, and it's going to be a really good event. So,
Just encourage everybody, grab the kids, come out.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be big. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and check the schedule too. You can go on the chamber's website and check it out because the local teams are playing too.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they're having little sidebar competitions. Loudest crowd wins some kind of cash prize for the local, for their team
Yeah.
and whatnot. So a lot of fun stuff.
MVP awards will be given out. I mean, I hope local businesses be ready because, I mean, with 44 teams, it's
A lot
got
of
people to our town.
Yep.
So,
And I know in a positive way, it's already brought some hotel bookings. So,
yes.
and actually, what I like that you all have done too is you've got somebody coming in that's actually going to do an economic evaluation during the tournament at the end of the day to tell us what we gain economically from having such a tournament. So exciting times, day after Christmas, when you're looking for something to do. Certainly plenty of basketball to take in. Let me move along. I'd like to just highlight a couple things as this is our last meeting of this year. It's kind of neat in a meeting like this. You can say I won't see any of you until next year. But I want to highlight a couple of things. First of all, I want to say every year at the City Employee Breakfast, which is an annual gathering we have every year for two reasons: to get together and have the opportunity to tell the city employees how much we appreciate them, and then it's also our one time a year we get together where we can pass along some information, things relative to the city, and if nothing else, just bring city employees up to date. This year, in a real proud way, every year I recognize an employee. This year I recognize 2 employees. And I bring that out tonight because even since I've recognized them at the breakfast, I continue to get positive feedback from people that travel through our community and deal with these 2 young men. As a matter of fact, this weekend I got a text and said, hey, just had a situation where I came in contact, and I don't know if the people were getting a ticket or what. They didn't go through all that, but they wanted to make sure that I knew without a doubt how respectful that young man was that they had to deal with for whatever incident they were dealing with. And And so, you know, in a positive way, I want to give a shout out again to Garrett Groves and Colton Groves, not brothers, both Groves, for the fantastic job they're doing and the way they represent the city of Summersville. So appreciate them, and not to just focus on them only, but again, we are so blessed and fortunate because we have a pool full of excellent employees. And in some way I could probably go on without a doubt and give something positive about each and every one of them. The other thing I'd like to do is today, opened up the mail. I get this quite often, so I thought today, in the spirit of just putting some words out there, I would read this. Mayor Schaefer, I'm writing this letter to recognize and congratulate a team in your water department that was led by Mr. Jeremy Nicholas. I reported a possible water leak to the water department on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, and within a matter of 2 minutes, gentlemen showed up to confirm the leak. And then Mr. Nicholas showed up and his team and immediately began the process of correcting the problem. They were by far the most professional, courteous, and sharing group of individuals I have dealt with in my relatively short time in Summersville. One thing I want to point out, I spent most of the time the team was working on the problem, watching and just looking at what was being done. If I'm not mistaken, the team was at my house from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. At no time that entire period of time did I hear one single off-color or rude remark from any of the gentlemen involved in the work. It is refreshing to be around folks that carry on normal conversations. And finally, these folks were pros. And what they were doing, no wasted time, no standing around watching. Mr. Nicholas would announce the plan and off they would go. Fun to watch. You could be proud of this group. They should be publicly recognized. Patrick Hart, I am publicly recognizing your letter, and thank you for taking the time after you witnessed this to let us know, because you know, sometimes I think we get focused too much on the negative and not the positive. And we've got a lot to be proud of in the city of Summersville with our employees. So thank you, Mr. Hart, for sending this letter and taking the time to do so. That's all I have. Council reports.
We have one more week of Brown Oaks Christmas decorations, and that's it for 2023.
Good deal. So one more week this Sunday.
Sunday last day.
And time?
1 to 6.
1 to 6. 1 to 6. Okay, anything else, council? Okay, what I would like to do is remind everybody, take time to remember the reason for the season. Spend this season with family and friends. On behalf of the city of Summersville, council, recorder, and myself, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See y'all next year. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. Thanks, council.